Welcome to the Bridgett Show. Entertaining, diverse, real interviews with gifted people of all walks of life, inspiring you to get off the couch, believe in yourself, and follow your dreams.
Guys, the most thoughtful person I've ever met in my life. She is the most thoughtful, most authentic, beautiful, giving, loving woman ever. Miss Catherine Cheng. What's up, Kat? I love you so much.
Oh, I love you. And you know, that's high praise coming from you because you literally just impart your sunshine to everyone who you come across, even before you know their name or before they know yours. So I honestly am inspired by this woman. I don't know what she's talking about, but
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all guys. Kat, we want to, I call her Kat because that's my
Kat.
friend. Kat, we want to know, what is your gift that you bring to the world?
Oh goodness. I don't know if I would call this a gift, but one thing that I've discovered about myself that I think benefits other people is that I lead best from behind. I serve very well in a support role. And I honestly don't know that I would have realized that in all the years that I've been working in my career. I work in supply chain management, but my where I really discovered it was at Toastmasters.
Oh, where
Yes.
we're at right now.
Where we
Toastmasters
are.
90210.
Yes, absolutely. Because I think everybody comes into Toastmasters, and for those of you who don't know, Toastmasters is a nonprofit organization that's been around for about 100 years that helps people with their public speaking, communication, and leadership skills. But the number one reason why people come to Toastmasters is because they have a fear of public speaking, want to conquer that fear of public speaking for one reason or another. Usually it's related to their work. They want to advance their careers, but sometimes it could just be because they have to give a toast at their best friend's wedding next month and they have no idea what to say. And in either case, we will provide that for you. Absolutely. So I would say back in 2008 now, was it? So quite a few years ago,
Long time.
walked into my first Toastmasters meeting thinking that I needed to become a better speaker.
Mhm.
And I'd like to think that over all these years I have.
Amazing speaker.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. But I think that is actually not where I thrive best and not where I sort of find my happy place.
Ooh, where is it?
My happy place really is in, as I mentioned, supporting others. So what do I mean by lead from behind?
Mhm.
Now, it's called Toastmasters because for every meeting there is a Toastmaster. And what does the Toastmaster? Think of the Toastmaster as the MC of the meeting. They host the meeting, they introduce everyone who's going to be speaking tonight. So, in essence, the Toastmaster is only as good as the people that she helps to support. And I am only doing my job as well as I do if I make other people look good. So, what does that mean? That means I have to have the meeting in order. I need to make sure that I have everybody's introductions in line. There's a lot of event planning and organizational skills that go into this, which I did not expect.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, when I walked into my first Toastmasters meeting, I just thought, okay, I just want to get up there and not be so nervous speaking. If I'm being honest, I still do feel nervous sometimes when I go and speak before people. And I would say nervousness is actually not a bad thing. And I tell everyone I mentor this too. Nervousness means you care.
Exactly.
It means you care. You want to make sure that your message is going through the way that you intend. That said, you don't want it to control you. You want the nervousness to sort of fuel your own ambitions for being better. And by better, I don't necessarily even mean being the loudest voice in the room, but just having everyone think about what you say when they leave.
And you do that very well. We met at Warner Brothers Toastmasters. I joined back in 2015. At this time, you already been there. Catherine was the mama bear of Warner Brothers Toastmasters. Literally, when I joined, that was the first club I ever joined, and I was
little club.
I was so green at speaking. I think you mentored me. I think you were my mentor. I know you helped me through everything with Toastmasters, as you do even here at 90210.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you, just from being in Toastmasters, the level that I've grown in speaking, oh my God, because of people like you who just honors other people and serve from behind the scenes. You serve in front of the scenes as well. Like you do a great job speaking. Don't let her fool you guys. She's an amazing speaker as well.
Oh, thank you. I really do appreciate that.
Tell them what you do. What's your role here at Toastmasters?
So my role here at my current Toastmasters Club, which is Toastmasters 90210, we meet in Beverly Hills every other Monday, so the second and fourth Monday generally of every month, and I am the vice president of membership. And what that means is sort of what it sounds like. I am responsible for shepherding in new members to our club, but then also just making sure that our current membership is okay, they feel supported, they feel inspired to advance and be the best speakers that they can be.
And no one better to do that. So
thank
you got all these people watching right now.
Do I?
Yes, you do. Do you want to do your VPM thing right here, your spiel?
Oh my goodness. Well, let me just tell you first and foremost that we would love for you to come visit one of our meetings and just check it out, see what we're about. I think I have to say honestly for myself, as I said, I walked into my first Toastmasters meeting, over 15 years ago, thinking I'm going to become a better speaker and then that'll be it. I'm going to move on with well, guess what? It is now 2024. I'm still attending Toastmasters meeting. Am I still working on becoming a better speaker? Absolutely. But I will tell you what has kept me and what has kept me coming back is the community that you find here. And I think that is honestly one aspect of Toastmasters that does not get sold very often. You really do. You might have to visit a few clubs to sort of find your tribe, so to speak. But I got to tell you, I think we here at 90210 have a pretty open and we have people from all walks of life here, all philosophies, and different speaking styles. You can, if you want, you can become that really in-your-face, really strong powerhouse speaker, the Tony Robbins of the world. There was another speaker that you had mentioned to me, Eric Thomas.
E.T. the hip hop preacher.
Yes. Les
Brown, Lisa Nichols.
You absolutely can be a powerhouse speaker if you want, but it's totally okay to find your own voice and have it be a little bit more reserved. Introverts often find their voice, and believe it or not, guys, I actually test repeatedly on the Myers-Briggs test as an introvert. So,
wow.
A book, if I might recommend to your listeners.
Yes, please.
Is the book called Quiet by Susan Cain. I'm going to totally butcher the rest of the title because it's really long, but it starts with Quiet. And I think the rest of the title goes How to Thrive as an Introvert in a World That Can't Stop Talking.
I love that title.
Yes.
But not only do you serve people, and not only is your gift serving from behind, girl, you serve in the kitchen now.
Oh.
Let them know about that. I thought that's where we were going to go here tonight.
Oh, okay. Look, I love Toastmasters, but let me tell you, food is my life. Food is my purpose. Literally, my purpose is to feed people. And if it was possible, I would do it for free.
Wow.
No joke.
So where did this passion to feed people come from?
I feel like food is the universal language. It's the ultimate gateway drug, if you will, to other cultures. Because if you like that culture's food, you're probably going to be curious about the people who made it. You're probably going to be curious about their lifestyle, what kind of music they listen to, about their language. I think it is like the ultimate wall remover.
Just so there's no confusion, tell us what your culture is and what's your favorite dish to
Oh, goodness. Okay, well, I would say my culture is, honestly, I would say my culture is firmly American. And what do I mean by that? It's a hodgepodge, right? Ancestrally, I have culture from China. I have culture from the tropics. But my favorite thing to make, though, I want to say any sort of dumpling. And I'm going to say dumpling in a sort of a loose term, because to me, a dumpling is any food that you stuff inside another food.
And fry.
So,
well, you don't necessarily have to fry
You can fry them, you can steam them, but if it's a pocket that holds a lot of goodness, it's a dumpling, okay? All right? So,
I get your dumplings now.
Hand pies are dumplings. And yeah, obviously the dumplings that you get at Chinese restaurants are dumplings, right? Empanadas are dumplings. With some imagination, a burrito could be a dumpling. It's a food stuffed in another food.
Look at
I'm just saying. Okay.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
So Kat, she does all the cooking at the parties that we have with Toastmasters.
Oh, we got some pretty wild parties.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like she said, joining Toastmasters is a community. So
it absolutely
you become
is.
friends, and I go to her house. She makes dinner for everybody. And let's get on the Kat's cookies, though.
Oh my goodness.
Let's talk about those cookies.
You know what? I do like cookies. I do. I'm not much of a sweets person, which is interesting, but I do enjoy exploring with flavors that you wouldn't necessarily think of would marry with dessert. So,
Like
for
what?
example, I make a lot of shortbread. I think shortbread is a pretty nice blank palette, if you will. It's a blank slate to work with, and I like incorporating a lot of herbs, a lot of flowers in there. So I'll put things like lavender and vanilla, or rosemary and toasted almonds. So it cuts through the sweetness a little bit, but also adds a lot of floralness and herbaceousness. And the rosemary cookie, to be honest, is it ended up being my mother's favorite. My mother, God rest her soul, but was an absolute chocoholic. Told me while she was seeing me make them in the kitchen that there was no way she was going to eat something in cookies that would normally belong in potatoes. And she tried it, and she said she liked it better than the chocolate chip cookies I made.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think I like cookies just because it might not be my favorite thing to eat, but it's like my favorite place to just kind of go and let my mind explore.
You know what? If you can get sometimes when you're great at something, convincing your family and the people that know you the best, that've been around you, it's hard to get them on your team sometimes.
Oh, and let me just tell you, my mother is like, she has no filters. She will literally let me know if she doesn't like something or something.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying. If your mom likes it, if your mom told you it's good,
to get
you know
not
you're great.
bad from her was actually the highest praise I could ask for from my mother. But yeah, thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Mom. So growing up, what did you want to be growing up? Did you always want to be a cook, or did you always know that you wanted to serve behind the scenes?
Oh, okay. Lot to unpack there.
Let's unpack
The honest answer was, when I was younger, I wanted to grow up to be someone my parents would be proud of.
Aww.
And I think for a long time I did a lot of things that I thought was what that would look like. Found out later that was a lot of trying to fit a square peg in a round hole sort of situation. And I don't know, you could say I didn't have the discipline, willpower, or I just, the need to continue to incorporate food in my life somehow, some way, just kept calling to me. So while I wasn't sure when I was younger whether or not I would be able to make a living from food, I always knew that it was going to be an important part of my life. And in some capacity, whether I was getting paid for it or if it was just something I was doing on the weekend for friends or whatever, I would always be in the kitchen. I will always be. Women need to get back into the kitchen, but not just women. Ooh. Men, get in the kitchen. Okay, everybody get in the kitchen where the food is. What's wrong with you?
And when you feed people, you're nourishing their body. So it's like you are giving life unto people like that you love. It just shows that you love them because you're nourishing their soul.
It's certainly my love language. I will agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
I feel convicted when she said women get in the kitchen. Okay, yeah, I'm going to get in the kitchen.
I will get in there with you. I'm telling you. Okay, I will get in there with you. Bring your booze too. All right.
Oh, maybe we should have a cooking class.
100%. Okay. Look, there's nothing sexier than cooking together, in my opinion.
Cat's cooking class coming soon.
There's nothing sexier than cooking with the one you love.
So let me ask you this. You said when you were younger, you wanted to please your parents. So what did it take for you to go from wanting to please your parents to living life on your own terms?
I would say, in 2005, I had a pretty life-altering car accident, which thankfully did not, I'm still here with you guys. I'm able-bodied, right? Yes, thank the Lord for that. I survived that, and it made me just kind of realize that life is short. And actually, after the accident, my father came to me, and I'm very close to my father. We are close, and yet we have a complicated relationship. It's complicated, as they would say.
I get it.
On social media.
Anybody with a family gets that. I think.
Right. But the first thing he said to me when he saw me is, "You need to take care of yourself. Your life does not just belong to you." And I thought about that, and I thought, well, then who does it belong to? And then I thought about that some more, and I just thought, well, everything that I've been working for up to this point, and everything that, quite frankly, I kind of lost through the accident, which, oh my God, how long is this interview? Right? Because I was engaged prior to that accident. I lost that. I started a new job. I nearly lost that because I sustained a head injury in that accident.
I'm so glad you made it through.
Oh, thank you. I am too. But I just sort of was thinking, like, I was looking at all these external markers for success, right? Who am I linked to romantically? Where do I work?
Yeah.
And what have you. And I had to ask myself whether that really fed my soul. And the answer was no, not really. Not really. I mean, it made me happy that it seemed to have made my parents happy. But,
Yeah.
And look, I want to be clear. I don't think the two are mutually exclusive necessarily. I think it took a long time for my parents to kind of be on board with what I want to do with food because my both of my parents had parents. So my father's father and my mother's mother were in the food industry, and since they were also both immigrants, the food industry meant something very different to them. It meant long grueling. Not to say that being in the food industry now does not mean long grueling hours, but I think they saw it as sort of for the lack of a better way of saying it, almost a lower class industry, something that servants would get paid to do back in the old country. Why would you do that? We brought you all the way here to America.
And you want to cook? You want to slave in the kitchen?
Right, right. To have a good education just for you to do what your grandparents had to do to get you that good education, So I think it took a long time for them to kind of accept that I made this choice consciously.
Yeah.
It's not out of an act of rebellion. I mean, it's the exact opposite, really.
Yeah.
It is for love. And yes, I do think maybe one day it can provide a living.
I think you have it. I think you have it. You were, I know you were starting your business with Cat's Cookies.
Yes. I got to tell you, when I was unemployed for most of last year, it was what kept me afloat.
Yeah.
So,
I see you had all those orders coming in.
Thank
You were in the kitchen.
I was in the kitchen for sure.
And you said something. I know you did a speech or a table topics, which was a section of Toastmasters where you answer a question and it's extemporaneously. You don't know what they're gonna ask, and then you just answer. You get up in there and speak on the spot. I remember you speaking something about your grandfather, how his whole life was just about not being in the kitchen. And it's funny how you came to America and now that's the one thing that you want and desire. Could you tell us that story?
Yes. So my grandfather, as I said, food meant something very different in that generation. My grandfather was a merchant marine, meaning that he worked as a chef. Eventually he worked up to be the head chef of an American cruise line that I don't believe is in existence anymore. It's called the American President.
Okay.
But that meant, he used to tell me that he would be on his feet sometimes 12 hours a day, this giant industrial flat top grill in front of him, 3-story convection oven behind him. He would work so hard that at the end of the day, he had to pour sweat out of his boot.
Oh my God.
So, yes, and he didn't want that life for me, and I get that. And, it was also during a time where, and actually I think it's changing a bit now, but those who work in the food industry know it's still very much a male-dominated industry.
Wow.
There's a lot of men in the kitchen and a lot of unsavory characters among those men, according to my grandfather. And he didn't want me being exposed to that. So I think that was why he discouraged it. But I think more than anything, he discouraged it for me because he never saw his family. He was on that ship for most of the year and was really only home for a couple of weeks during the holidays. And, for him to have to do that year after year, come home and then leave in the morning before any of his children could protest him leaving, I can only imagine how heart-wrenching that was. So,
it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so happy that you are following your passion and doing the things that you love and feeding people.
Yes.
Which is your joy.
And I will say, if nothing else, I appreciate that my grandfather did afford me the education. But I think with that education also came agency. And that agency allowed me to make that choice.
Yes.
So I'd like to think that, he never had a chance to try my food, but I'd like to think that I'm helping to keep his memory alive, and he'd be proud of me for that. through them.
You're doing that right here, right now.
I hope so.
What's your grandfather's name?
Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Yes.
All right, here's to Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Much love, much love.
Thank you.
And I want to say, like I told y'all, Catherine is the most generous, thoughtful, giving person. Nikki, can you hand me this bag right here? Thank you, love. So literally, just on a regular day, we come to Toastmasters. She got a whole bag for me filled with goodies, y'all. Literally, all of my skincare routine comes from Catherine.
Oh my God, that is, I have to say, skincare is a very close second passion of mine, which we'll have to say for another interview. But anyway.
But let me show them because it has the bee on it for Bridgett. And then my favorite flower, the sunflower.
Of course it would be the sunflower, though, right? I told you she's a ray of sunshine, is she not? Is she not?
Thank you, love. I'll have to tell you about the story of the sunflower and why I love it so much. We'll save that for another day.
Right.
But listen, thank you so much for coming here. Anything you want to share with the Bridgett LeRae show that we did not cover?
Oh Lord, I just thank you for watching. I am humbled because, like I said, I'm normally not in the spotlight. I am trying to make things happen for people like Bridgett who belong in the spotlight. So thank you so much for sharing your spotlight with me.
Thank you. Yeah. No, you know what? You definitely have it. You have that main character energy. I love your stories. I love hearing the stories about your parents. They're so funny. I wish you can just tell us jokes here about your family. But guys, let me tell y'all, you got to get some Cat's cookies in your life. Okay? Are you still selling the cookies if they wanted to buy some?
Absolutely.
Where can they go?
Absolutely. You can check me out on Instagram at the one and only Cat's Cookies and also www.catscookies.com. Love you guys.
The one and only Cat's Cookie, y'all. You know, and check out Toastmasters and visit our club. It's international, so you have clubs all over the world. All right.
I tell you, everybody leaves the room with a big smile after the meeting. So, yeah.
Yes. It's very powerful. Toastmasters is like a gym for speakers. You know, you go to the gym, pump your muscles. That's where you come to this Toastmaster club and pump your speaker muscles.
Absolutely, 100%.
Ready to visit a club? It's free, and you can find one near you on the Toastmasters website at www.toastmasters.org. The purpose of the meeting roles is to help the members improve their speaking and leadership skills by providing feedback and evaluation. There are 7 different meeting roles: Toastmaster of the Day, Awe Counter, Grammarian, Timer, Evaluator, Table Topics Master, and General Evaluator. Every meeting is started by the club president, who introduces the Toastmaster of the Day. The Toastmaster of the Day is the host of the meeting. Fulfilling this role is great practice for leading meetings. The Toastmaster begins by introducing people who will fill other meeting roles for the day. He or she acts like an MC and keeps the meeting flowing smoothly and on time. Many clubs use an awe counter to document the number of filler words members use while speaking. At the end of each meeting, the awe counter reports how many ahs, ums, and other similar words each speaker used. This helps members become more aware of unintended words or sounds they make when they speak. The grammarian helps members expand their vocabularies. One of the grammarian's duties is to provide a word of the day and its definition. If a member uses the word of the day or says something well, the grammarian calls attention to it. As the name implies, the timer records the exact length of each speech. He or she also uses timing lights to help speakers stay within their allocated time limits. The general evaluator takes notes throughout the meeting and reports back to everyone, giving specific feedback on how well the meeting flowed and also on how future meetings might be improved. The general evaluator also calls for reports by the awe counter, grammarian, and timer. In every club meeting, there are at least 2 members who present speeches. These speakers don't just stand up and start talking. They use the guidelines in their designated education manuals to prepare their presentations and reach the objectives for each speech. Every speaker who has prepared speeches in advance enjoys one of Toastmasters' greatest benefits: evaluation. Think of it as having a friend watch you practice a speech and then give you helpful feedback. The speaker usually meets with an evaluator before the meeting and asks the evaluator to pay attention to certain aspects of the talk. After all the speeches are done, the evaluators present their feedback in front of the club, covering areas such as: did the speakers use their hands to gesture well? Did they control their voices throughout the speeches? What did they do especially well, and what are some ideas for improvement? In addition to prepared speeches, a few minutes are set aside for table topics. This is often the most challenging, but also the most fun part of our meetings. During table topics, a series of questions or speaking topics are presented, and members are selected to respond on the spot. This is excellent training for those situations that come up in everyone's lives, where we have to think fast and say just the right thing. It might be a job interview, a sales meeting, or a dinner conversation. Table topics are great for practicing and honing the skills of impromptu speaking. Now that all the reports have been made, the president calls the meeting to a close. Everyone joins Toastmasters with a personal goal. Maybe it's a goal to become a more confident presenter, or learn how to run a meeting, or think faster on your feet. Whatever it is, you can achieve your goal if you participate. So, what's your goal?
So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Bridgett LeRae Show with my girl, Cheng, a.k.a. Kat.
Yeah.
And we will catch you next time. And remember, always believe in yourself. Follow your dreams. Kat did. No matter who had what to say, she did it, and you can too. Love you.
Hi, guys.
Enjoyed this episode? Great! Remember to subscribe, comment, and share it with someone who could use a boost. See you next time on The Bridgett LeRae Show, where your story inspires others to dream again.
Bridgett, it's your girl.